as well. Okay, welcome everyone. This is going to be a live coaching session where we will be showing the body-oriented coaching approach. And my name is Sam Taylor. I'm the head of training at the Somatic School. So I've been with the Somatic School almost since the start, since 2019. And my job is to oversee the training program, including the accredited diploma in body-oriented coaching, to make sure it hits the highest standards of coaching education and is also true to coaching, true to the coaching approach, and true to somatics. So that's our aim, to have a coaching approach that's robust and effective, but also incorporates the magic of embodied knowing and the body's wisdom. So it's really good to see everybody. It's great to get these kind of introductions over the chat. If you haven't done so yet, please do share where you're based and where you're coming from. Thank you, Angela, and whether you're new to coaching or to somatic coaching. But today I'm joined by Whitney, and Whitney and I are going to be in a session together. So I'm really looking forward to working with you, Whitney. And Whitney, yeah, feel free, to say hello to everyone.
Hey everyone.
And Whitney's on holiday.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Yeah.
Whitney works with the school and is a coach herself. But this is the first time we're working on this. We're working freshly today. So we're going to be working truly in the unknown and seeing what unfolds. And as noted, this is a demo session. So in a moment, I'll be inviting you to go off camera. And what we'll do is click in the top right, hide non-video participants, which will put Whitney and I onto the screen. It will give the illusion of just Whitney and me being in the same room, in the same Zoom room. And we will work for about 40 minutes. And then I'll do a little piece just to explain some of the things that happened that I did, the things I can recall. Then we will, Whitney will share her experience. Then we'll have a bit of space for Q&A.
Sorry, darling, you don't sound like something.
Pavani, you're on. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. So how does that sound, everyone? Good? Lovely. Okay. Well, with that said, let's get coaching. And for this, then I'm just going to invite you to take your cameras off. And then, as I said, if you hover in the top right of the Zoom interface under view, or where the little mosaic of squares is, you can click hide non-video participants, as I have done. Whitney, all good on your end?
Yes. There it is. It's just you and me. All of a sudden.
Your voice said yes, and your face seemed to say something else. Okay, lovely. So, Whitney, how are you feeling today? But let's maybe if we have a couple of maybe if we have a quick chat before we actually get into the session proper, just as part of a landing. How are you feeling?
Yeah. I'm feeling surprisingly less nervous than I thought I'd be to have an audience for a coaching session. So I'm feeling pretty settled, and yeah, just feeling some anticipation. I'm looking forward to getting into it. And yeah, just context is interesting. I'm on vacation, but it also feels like a massive treat to just have a coaching session first thing in the morning. I should do this every day.
Yeah, lovely. Okay. Well, with that said, I'll say, It's nice to see you. I'm looking forward to the session. We can pretty much start now if you feel ready to. Shall we? Let's commence and we can say we'll go for 40 minutes. What would you love to get from these 40 minutes together, Whitney?
Clarity, some clarity.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm as I was thinking about this yesterday and this morning, what I wanted to bring to the space. I mean, it's both a little bit fuzzy and pretty clear to me, but I have this sense of I mean, I've had for a while this desire for ease and simplicity, really this desire
Mhm.
for simplification.
Yeah.
And it's a bit mysterious still. I mean, I do think I'm really in my head about it. But I have some understanding of what that might mean, but I don't feel completely clear and committed to how I want to simplify business life. And so I think I'd really love to walk away from this session with enough clarity to like take action on what's really been a feeling.
Mm. And if you were to describe that feeling, what comes?
Mm. I mean, it's really interesting. I think the feeling is really this knowledge, this knowledge of how much I overcomplicate things. So it's a knowledge of kind of my current reality, and then a real desire for simplification. Um, and I experience it as, yeah, like a really anxious energy, like an energy of there being too much and just wanting um like I think it's manifesting as like over cleaning my home, like probably dedicating too much time to like cleansing and cleaning. And so I don't like, I'm just gonna say it like this, like I feel a little bit dirty and I
Mm.
just want to feel a little like cleaner and fresher. And I have a sense that that will come from just having less on my plate. And so it's just been really interesting, even just sitting with this last night and today, because it's been here for me for a while. But like I have a desire for more in some senses, right? Like more stability, more wealth, more
Yeah.
um clarity, again, that word.
Yeah.
And I have a sense that that will come from less from simplifying what now feels really overcomplicated. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's just been
Uh-huh.
it just feels like it's been rolling around for a while. My words for I don't always do this, but I'm a Virgo moon, Virgo rising, and we're in Virgo season. And so I chose a few words, and instead of setting full sentence intentions, that was a way of simplifying, just picking some words. And it's, yeah, cleanse, curate, simplify are my words for this moon cycle. Um, yeah, and it feels like I'm wanting that from a distance. It doesn't feel like my life looks that way at the
Uh,
moment. Some which is
yeah.
not preventable, and I think some that can be worked with.
Sorry, can you say that last bit again?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I just have a sense of really wanting those things, and a sense that my life isn't looking that way or doesn't necessarily feel that way. And I think some of that is not preventable, like just the messiness of having a toddler and being able to roll with that. Um, but I do have a sense that there's just some tweaks that I can make, or in like intentions I can bring, or like a taking stock I can do. I mean, and especially within my business, where I can just tamp down that overcomplication a bit and just let things flow more smoothly, which feels like simplification.
Okay. So would it be helpful if I play back a few words or some bits that I've got here and you can see
Yeah.
how they resonate? We see what lands. And you said you're looking for clarity and simplification. There's something about wanting to feel cleaner. You sort of,
Yeah, like there's something about ease of movement or like through um I mean, so I think I want clarity around how and what to simplify.
yeah,
It feels like there's so much efforting.
yeah.
Um and I just I'm trying to think of it's like I have, ankle weights on. Like I want to go for a run, but I have really heavy ankle weights on. And I just love to feel the
Mm-hmm.
wind in my face
Mm-hmm.
and like a cooler breeze, which we now have. But
Mm-hmm.
these ankle weights,
Mm-hmm.
like this overcomplication,
Mm-hmm.
is keeping me from like waking up and moving, or just moving, whether it's whichever direction, but just moving, um, yeah, in a way that feels enlivening to me.
Great. So you want clarity on how and what to simplify so you can move in a way that feels enlivening, not or different from the ankle weights.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, there are places in your life, you have a toddler, where there's a certain messiness. And there are other places like your business where there might be space for more flow.
Yes. That. Yeah.
So what's the key challenge around that?
Hmm. Like there's some fear. Like there's some fear there that I'm sensing.
Ah.
Um, yeah, there's definitely a fear.
Hmm.
And it's, I mean, it's very specifically around my business, but I have a lot of passions. I have a lot of interests. I have a lot of ways that my work expresses itself.
Uh-huh.
And I think with simplification comes, right, letting go. And there's a fear of
Mm.
something. I was going to say fear of loss. I don't know if that's quite correct, but I guess I'm conscious that there is like, what am I in this simplification process? What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of something there, which is
Mm.
making it easy
Mm.
to
And I'm sensing
not.
tightness here, Whitney, right in my solar plexus.
Mm.
What's coming up for you?
Um, oof, yeah. Well, that's right where my very high-waisted pants are sitting. So there is some tightness there. Um, yeah, let me sit with that for a minute because I'm definitely feeling like tightness at the top of my heart space and this like just that breath there, like
Mm.
a hard to breathe.
Mm.
Or like taking more effort to just breathe, which is
Mm.
interesting.
Mm.
Um, yeah, yeah, I think there's not, I'm actually pretty like loose is the word that's coming. Like I'm pretty, yeah, like settled in my root center and in my sacral center. And then maybe for me, the solar plexus is where, yeah, it starts to get a little hairy, a
Mhm.
little,
Very
but
now.
definitely like the top side of my heart space is where I'm experiencing tightness, which is then making breath,
Mm.
which should be something very effortless and easeful.
Mm.
It's making breath a bit
Yeah.
like I have to really consciously think about it. And I think that's what the overcomplication feels like is overcomplication to me means that I have to so actively think about everything I'm doing. And that's just an energetic output.
Mm.
An energetic output that isn't necessary.
So Whitney, you mentioned there's a fear around the business.
Yeah.
You're sort of tracking yourself and you could sense something hairy there in the solar plexus constriction.
Hmm.
you're linking that to overcomplication. I'm curious, given our what we're working on, you know, getting you to clarity on what to simplify so you can move in a way that feels enlivening. I'm guessing around your business as well as
Mhm.
other places. Whether it feels, given all of that, like it might be useful to give space to the fear in this session. What's your sense of that?
Yeah, that sounds good. I think that as you said that, and so it's like a fear of, it's a fear of letting go. It's a fear of letting go of the wrong thing.
Ah,
Um,
I feel something shifting energetically, like some tingling when you say that fear of letting go of the wrong thing.
oh yeah, I feel some anxiety.
Uh-huh.
Just naming that, just my hand, I really my hands just
Yeah.
started to sweat a little bit.
Uh-huh.
It's like I'm hoarding, which I am not a hoarder, and I actually love purging.
Uh-huh.
But it feels like I imagine that that might feel like, oh, I can't, this is mine. I can't let this go, or
Uh-huh.
this has significance, or what if I need it? What if I need it later? Um, oof, yeah, that
Yeah.
feels,
Yeah.
yeah.
What is that? If you were to put words to how that feels?
I mean, that feels like it. Like it's just
Feels-
activating me a lot
Yeah.
to name that.
Yeah.
So it just feels like
Yeah.
that's something there.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And Whitney, what might support you to be present to this place in this moment? What kind of resourcing might be useful here? Maybe
hmm,
feeling your feet on the ground.
yeah,
What might
I
be a
feel
support to you as you do this?
I just gotta look up. There's a mountain. There's a mountain in front of me, but there's a house in the way. So if I just lean this way, I can see the mist and the tops of the trees and the sunlight and the mountain. And maybe I'll just move my seat so I can see it a little bit easier.
Notice a quality of sunlight on your face there as you're shift.
Yeah, come on, make it easy for me. Um, I guess I can move the whole desk. This is fun. This is interesting. I was like, the desk has to stay parallel to the wall. No, it doesn't. I can move so I can see this mountain. This is so, yes. This is kind of like what I want to do with
So
my
yeah.
life. Like, yes, I can move that. Of course I can. Um,
So
mm,
just inviting you to be connected to your experience here. What are you finding? What's coming up now in relation to all of this, with the mountain there, with this so yes, and everything we've been exploring?
I mean, I'm just experiencing a lot of joy having this to
Mm,
look at. Just that moment in connection with this was so interesting because there was something about, I mean, this is not a permanent fixture, this desk. I mean, this is just metaphor for me at this point, but this is not a permanent fixture. It's not my house, but it's not a permanent fixture. It can be moved so that I have a better view. And I'm looking at things. I mean, enlivening is, I mean, that word that I used earlier is coming back. Like I can move things around and I can shift things and I can make changes. I don't have to assume that because something is in one place, that's where it must always stay. I'm allowed to make rearrange things so that I have a view that nourishes me. Or I'm able to take things in that like nourish my system and bring
Whitney,
me joy.
yeah, sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
When you connect with that and you bring your awareness to your embodied experience, what do you notice?
Just yeah. I mean, well, this wanting to move just came, but I was noticing
Hmm.
like my shoulders dropped a level. I think I still sense a bit of tightness at the top of my heart space.
Mm. Can I share a noticing?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Um, um, I'm noticing the words are coming quite fast.
Mm. Yeah, I think what I'm gaining is clarity. I think
What's that?
I have a sense of being able to name my wider experience a bit
Mm.
easier.
Hmm.
I think when we started this conversation, like, what is this? There's something here. There's something around this. And just at this moment, it feels a bit easier to express.
Mm.
At least express. I think what's also coming for me right now is some clarity around how I want, like, I'm just gonna say my
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
to feel.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that running came in, but that's not really it. It's,
Mm. How do you want it to feel?
I mean, that's cliche, like an exhale that's here, but uh just there's a playfulness. I mean, what's really giving me this clarity is the view that I have right now. And so there's something really refreshing. I mean, the window is open and the time of year that it is, I have this really refreshing, cool breeze coming in. Um, there's so much diversity in the landscape of what I'm looking at, that I'm really appreciating. I can look right in front of me and there's morning glories blooming on a fence. And then, I mean, this is really idyllic. And then I look up and there's a mountain with sunshine. And I mean, I just feel very peaceful.
Mm.
Um, yeah,
Hmm.
that's it. I don't need to add another word to that, which I do. I overcomplicate with that language all the
Okay.
time. I just, yeah, peaceful.
So
Um,
I have an idea, Whitney, if you're open to it, which would be for an
mm,
experiment. It would be using your body to express or explore what you're wanting here from your work. And you say you want the feeling you want at work is to be peaceful.
yeah.
If you were to, how does that sound, first of all, as an idea to explore using a shape or an embodiment?
Mm, yes, that sounds good. I mean, peaceful, easeful,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
like,
Hmm.
there's a like
Mm.
there too. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's a word for that, but just like
Yeah.
oof. There's like a
Yeah.
yes with a yes, I think there too. Um, yeah.
So does it feel like you've got enough connection to that to then give that a shape, to embody that? Maybe you could show me what that might look like, that experience that you're longing for.
Um, I think, yeah, I think that's, yeah, I think there's enough clarity. And I think, of course, I'll uncover more as I try to, or as I not try to, as I allow shape to come. Yeah, I think there's enough clarity to do that. I'd
Or
really
a
like to
space
do
in
that.
your room that you feel drawn to, or you can even do it sitting down. You could use your hands, you could use your whole body, whatever you feel called to, follow that.
I'm gonna unplug my headphones, so just to
Mhm.
make sure I can still be heard and hear. Will you say something so I can still hear you say? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're still nice and clear. Yeah, just inviting you, Whitney, to allow your body to find the shape. Like if your body were to express what you're wanting here, this clarity, this feeling of peacefulness, ease, mm, the yes.
Wow. The sunlight.
Yeah. what comes?
Mm.
Yeah, feel free to report on your experience whenever that's helpful.
Yeah, I think I'm still trying to find it. Um, I mean, I think this is it. Yeah, I was trying to overcomplicate it, but just this kind of simple, a little bit wider leg than maybe I mean, it's like a mountain pose. My legs are just a little bit wider than that. And I feel
Mm.
what feels really good about this is that, I mean, I can feel the floor beneath my feet. That feels really grounding. I'm also kind of picking up my feet and just seeing how the floor feels on different like parts of my feet. And so there's a playfulness and like an agility, an ability to like move and react and play and hop. Like I can very easily
Mm.
to a different position here, but I
Hmm.
also
Yeah.
did.
Hmm.
And I think with a I'm just comparing it to mountain pose now, but with a mountain pose, I'd have my palms facing forward. My palms are actually facing kind of down.
Hmm.
Something like there's something about just feeling, I don't know, I feel really connected to my environment with my palms facing down. Like what's this like? It feels very like tactile and playful, like I could reach out and touch too. And I don't know, that just feels that feels good to me. My shoulders feel really relaxed.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, I can feel the sun on my face.
Mm.
Of course, lovely. Yeah, I just feel really agile. I mean, that's the word that's
Mm.
coming up. And
What's the most surprising thing about the shape you're finding yourself in?
how simple, how simple it is. Like, of course, I want to like, it's just, it's so,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
surprising and not that it is so simple, but um, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just easy. I'm just standing here, my arms are down, I'm not efforting to hold my arms up and like reach out or something like that. Um, but yeah, it just feels really nice. It feels
Uh-huh.
really, mm,
What might you like to remember about this place?
I mean, just that it's accessible. Like it's just
Yeah.
you know, it's easy. It's very I guess there's something about, a couple things at once, like kind of holding nuance or like a
Yeah.
both there about like I do feel really grounded and I
Yeah.
also feel like I can move. And
Yeah.
so that feels good.
Okay. So Whitney, here's an idea to build on this,
Yeah.
be to play with the contrast between this place and the other place. So maybe
Yeah.
allowing and really just inviting you to only touch into that as much as feels you want to, right? So you have agency. Um, but the idea would be to invite yourself to touch into the other place when your body doesn't feel this ground, this movement, this accessibility, like the place that perhaps is overcomplicating or that is fearing something of letting go. what might that look like? And then we can play transitioning there to explore the shift.
Mm. I mean, I really,
Mhm.
I just want to like pick up everything I can because that's what it feels like, you know, just extremely long
This is
cord.
the hoarding.
Yes. You know, I just want to,
Right. And what's coming up for you as you do that?
it's stupid. It's just,
Hmm.
yeah, this is it.
Hmm. And what feels right about this, if anything?
Hmm, that's such a good question. I mean, there's like a nostalgia or
Mm.
like this is mine, you know.
Mm.
Like these are significant things to me. I'm holding, I mean, my phone, whatever. Let's all get rid of them. But I'm holding my phone and my newish water bottle. I really like my new water bottle. And you know, these are my headphones that I use
Yeah.
all the time, and a notebook that I've been writing meaningful things in. And so but it
Yeah.
feels like there's like a childish, like it feels childish,
Yeah.
um, but not in the way that I love to embrace, like playful, but it just
Yeah.
feels like it's mine. Like, you
It's
know,
mine.
I'm very reminded of my three, my 3-year-old.
Uh-huh.
No, it's mine. Like there's this, it feels good to hold because they're significant to me, but I also feel like the other sense here is like holding on tighter, and that doesn't, um I don't like that. I don't like how that feels in my muscles to like, oh no.
Mm.
um
Mm. So
yeah.
if you were to play with just allowing your body to unfold itself in a way that feels right and just allowing that movement to come, if possible, without thinking,
Mm.
what sort of impulse happens there? Acknowledging the place that you're in and the way your body wants to move. What's happening?
um I mean, I'm putting things down, but like very intentionally, very gently. I'm like placing them. This is very Virgo moon, Virgo rising. I'm
Yes.
like very organized in the way I'm placing things when I'm putting them down, and this feels
Something about that feels good.
yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
And so something about um the order that I'm putting things down in. It's just like what is the most like awkward or inconvenient for me to hold, and I kind of put those things down first.
Mhm.
So yeah, and now I'll need that.
Mhm.
That within reach.
And
uh
what's coming up now?
yeah, I'm just free, you know,
Three.
like they're there,
Yeah.
they exist, um but I don't have to
Yeah.
hold them.
You might let yourself have that free if it's there as much as it feels right, allowing that to be there.
Yeah, just really like a lot of buoyancy and agility
Yeah.
still. I mean, even more than the when I first embodied that first posture I embodied. Like there's just more desire to like jump and
Uh-huh.
move around, and
Yeah.
my arms are free. Like,
Um,
so yeah, that feels, I can
uh-huh.
dance from here. Uh,
Yes.
I can't, I mean, I could totally dance with all of that stuff in my hands, but um, you know, I don't have anything to prove. I don't need to prove that I can dance with all those things in my hands. I can just really
No. No.
um
What's important about this dancing?
yeah. I mean, well, that's like the lifeblood of what I do in my work, but there's something about, you know,
Yeah.
there's something, okay, what's important about this dancing? I mean, it's just how I feel when I'm in flow. Like
Uh,
dancing is how I connect to how I'm feeling, like how life is flowing. Um, and like there's something else there about
mhm.
Like there's like a little bit of practice that you preach here for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's really here is, God, I've been talking about this, is how we um
Mm.
how I
Mm.
humans like try to like separate life from practice, and like I go here and do this thing for this time, but you know, how does that just weave its way into our day to day? And like that thought or that thing that I've been expressing is here for me, and just with coming to this place of being able to move and dance and be agile and buoyant, um i I do that too, which I'm conscious of. But like, if this is how I want to feel, is like how I want to feel is like I want to dance, like I can dance, like I want to dance, like I want to move. Like if I want my
Mm.
work to feel that, like I certainly want my life to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like there's something that I've been believing
Mm-hmm.
that's created a separation
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in that desire that says, well, you can't dance until
Mm-hmm.
you can't,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can't have that until, when really like what I'm feeling in my body is just this ability to spring into movement, and this desire and this buoyancy and this agility, and um
Mm.
there's nothing I need to do before I get to that place. Like what this feels like is a barometer for like what's working and what's in flow, and like what remains, as I look at all of the things that I'm holding, all of the things that I'm doing. um
Mm.
I'm having a hard time expressing it, but there's like it feels like it's taking on a couple different meanings. I mean, one, it's like how I want to feel in my whole life, including my work.
Mm.
And I don't know, I'm lost, I'm a little lost with that, but
Mm. Whitney, as you were sharing, I was sensing a like a tightness here in my throat, and I feel curious about um I've got some words actually. I could offer you some words and you could see how they land.
mhm,
This would be a verbal experiment in which, your job is just simply to notice what comes up in you, and
yeah,
then uh when you're ready, just give me a sign and I'll offer you some words, and then
yeah. I'm just gonna sit. I feel like I want to sit. uh yeah, I'm ready.
yeah, Whitney, just notice your body's reaction or response um, when you hear me say these words. Whitney, you can trust yourself to take the next step.
Mm. Can you say it? You repeat it?
Yeah, Whitney, you can trust yourself to take the next step.
Mm. Yeah, there's just something. Um, I mean, I'm just still feeling that same tension, just above my heart space,
Hmm.
and that like breathing. And I think it's where that the fear. I mean, I think it's the fear coming back in. Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, my brain is already wanting to make sense of that. I'm just,
yeah, yeah. And what kind of attention would the fear like from you right now, if you were to sense into that?
yeah, yeah. There's just like I mean, just the fear wants me to acknowledge that it's like really deep. Like it wants to
Mm.
acknowledge it's like really old and deep, and I've definitely
Mm.
had sense of that. But just even as you were sharing, or you were saying that statement to me, it was like, if what I want my life, what I want to feel like in my business, what I want to feel like in my life is that like agile buoyancy, ability to like dance and move and be light. If that's what I want, and if that's what my next steps move me towards, like the fear, I mean, the fear says, what if you're not worthy of it? Like,
Mm. Hmm. So Whitney, if you're open to it, you might try that out and just let it know you really hear that. Firstly, it says it's a deep, old fear. Secondly, it's saying, what if you're not worthy of it? Let it know if it feels right. How might it be to let it know that you hear what it's saying?
mm. And so do you though?
Mm.
um maybe there's like some disbelief coming from the fear, because I think I've minimized it, or
Mm.
to move past it so many times.
Mm.
And so I think there's some disbelief. So I'm just gonna tell it again. Yeah, it's like I feel the sensation of it. Um, I mean, it was kind of like a generalized sensation. It just feels like it's kind of coming to a point, like moving to the right side of my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's there on the right side of your chest. Whitney, I'm curious, what might the fear need from you right now, if you sense into that?
I mean, I feel like it just wants me to continue to like listen, like to acknowledge that it's there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. Just to acknowledge that it's there. And
And how might it be to do that? How might it feel for you to do that?
I mean, it feels a little bit sad.
Hmm. Something coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it feels a little bit sad. Um, but it also feels really like clearing,
Hmm. Clearing.
cleansing, like that
Cleanse.
cleanse. It feels like I don't know, it just, I feel I do feel like there's a clearing of the way, like just in acknowledging. I mean, the fear is
Yeah.
all like worthiness and belonging, that literally like I'm adopted. I mean, it's the
Hmm.
wound just
Oh,
manifesting in this way. And
yeah.
um I think there's a lot there. I mean, I think this
Yeah.
fear of worthiness, this fear around like, am I worthy of this life that I'm wanting? um
Mm.
I think there's a lot of conditioning around,
Yeah.
but gratitude, I mean, in the adoptee community, but gratitude for what your life has become. And so with that gratitude, it can be a bit bypassy of like, hey, this was a struggle, and this was painful, and this was a big wound.
Ah,
Happened really early.
we have only about, well, we're kind of around time, but we're going to go for another 3 minutes. And you're saying, this is a really big wound, and I'm just curious how it is to acknowledge that.
I mean, it just feels really like, yeah, like clearing, cleansing, just like giving myself an opportunity to look at it. So I think I'm actually going to move back to the screen, but I think there's this expectation that I've had of myself. I mean, in this wanting of like ease and simplification, as well as like more and just the next level of my life, like in the wanting of that, it feels like I've had an expectation of myself to, I mean, for even that process to be seamless.
Mm.
Um, and I think what's coming for me is like, in order to step into this like ease and simplification and this next level that I'm wanting for myself, there's just parts of me that I have to be with, and say like, hey, I know you're feeling that way, and it makes sense that you're feeling that way. You've been through some things, and like, it's okay to feel sensitive around that. It's okay to feel raw around that. Likely, if these things are being activated, it kind of feels like, well, I must be on the right path. And
Mm.
even in just that, okay, like even just seeing how it reacted to me giving my attention to it, and like, yeah, you're not, I don't think you're really gonna do it. And having to negotiate with it and say like, no, like, I'm here, I'm acknowledging you, just really shows me how much I've been like downplaying that very significant like wound and the fear that comes as a result of it. Um, and so I don't know, like, I feel I have a lot of compassion for myself in this moment.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, so you wanted more clarity on how and what to simplify, and you also wanted to feel cleaner and clearer,
Yeah.
and like you want to move in a way that's enlivening. Um, what's where are we now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the clarity is, I mean, just those postures and that ability to move, and then these words, these really like embodied words of, for me, of like buoyancy and agility and also
Yeah.
groundedness. Like, I think that's such an excellent barometer as I'm looking at what I want to release in terms of like what's on my plate. I think I have a really clear barometer of how I want things to feel, to kind of like match to, or like, what is the felt sense of how I want to feel in my business is, I mean, that's there, and I have a posture and a movement and a feeling for it that I can really use to
Mm.
make those decisions. And like, I have a lot of empathy for myself and compassion and like self-forgiveness, and just maybe knowing that it's probably not going to be it's probably
Mm.
going to continue to be
Mm.
difficult,
Mm.
just to be like
Mm.
kind with myself, and just aware enough and give myself space enough to notice what this process of shedding is going to, that it's going to bring some things up for me, and that I can, yeah, seek support or be with myself, or just love on myself a little bit a little bit more, just,
Whitney, I'm curious as we kind of wrap this up now.
yeah.
What kind of container have you got to keep processing this and to take these next steps around being more compassionate, caring, kind with yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is definitely something I could bring to, yeah, my coaching. I mean, my coaching, the coach that I work with on a regular basis. It's also really interesting to imagine that uh, I've just started a couples therapy, and I'm just curious to, yeah, I'm just curious to talk with my partner a little bit more about
Mhm.
like what came up here, because I'm certain that it like it influences beyond my business. It influences my whole life. And so I think just, yeah, like conversation in my other important relationships about what's coming up for me, like what the process that I'm in, um, And yeah, I think just speaking more about this fear that I'm holding and where it comes from. I think just I mean, the container is like, yeah, like coaching, therapy, all of these places, but also just my relationships, and just being in dialogue about it, and maybe how the people that know me best, like where they notice, um yeah, where they might notice where these themes come up in our relationships of
You have a
yeah.
few places. You've got a few places, your coach, your couples therapy, friends. And I'm just wondering if there's one step you wanted to commit to honor what's happened today, what might that be?
Yeah.
And just to say we're going a little bit over time, but if we can close in a minute,
Yeah.
we'll end the session at 5 past, I think.
Yeah. Um, I mean, this has already been like, I've already been doing this, but I think just in the stage of motherhood where I'm just starting to feel like I have a little bit more time for myself. Um, and so I think there's just another flavor that I'm bringing to that. Like this, like real empathy and compassion, and I think what I'm the clarity I'm leaving with around simplicity is that I want it and I know how it feels. And
Mm.
so just giving myself some space to, yeah, like to be with that, just to be with this dance, this posture that
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
just found. Like, what is it, how does that feel to me today? And
yeah.
what might that mean? So I think just not like staying connected with what's come here, when I'm making time for myself in my day
Yeah.
is it's my
So, Whitney, I want to acknowledge you, for working on the big stuff. And of course, want to invite you to come back to that posture anytime it feels that you can get back into that place that feels agile and the dance is coming. Um, and thank you so much for sharing your process today. Does this feel like an okay place for us to complete?
Yeah.
So feel free to, take some time off camera to integrate, and I'll talk to the group. We'll explore a few questions, but when you're ready, you can also come back on and just share your experience of being the client uh, if that feels resonant to you at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so welcoming everyone back on screen. I'm going to put show non-video participants. Session went a bit longer than planned. So I'll just say a few words about the session. Um, we used um, uh, resourcing. So one of the things that I was noticing about Whitney was she was talking quite fast, which is quite normally a sign of um, stuff being present, maybe not so much resource and regulation being present in the space. So we worked a bit to find a space in the room, to orient to the mountain. And then the skill that we used after that was called embodying, um, which was initially drawn from the work of Amanda Blake. And I invited Whitney to find a pose to let her body show her and express that which she was really seeking. And that went into mountain pose. And then we invited a little bit of the current posture. So just tuning into the current pattern, the current method. Amanda Blake is another somatic coach. Um, uh, she's she's got a series called Body Equals Brain. There's a book she's written, so you can look her up. But on the course, we draw on an absolute vast range of somatic therapists, and coaches. And so we also used some verbal experiments, which are drawn from Hakomi. So it was later in the session, I offered the words, "You can trust yourself to take the next step," because I was sort of sensing that although there was clarity around where to go, and there was also a feeling of nourishment about letting things go, there was something holding still. And so I offered the words, "You can trust yourself to take the next step." And I had also been quite intentional about contracting with Whitney about whether it might be useful to use the session to explore the fear, just to be absolutely sure that that's what was wanted and that that was a desirable thing. So the fear actually then did come up after that statement, and we worked in a kind of felt sensing way that's inspired by inner relationship focusing from well, it's called Inner Relationship Focusing by Anne Weiser Cornell and Eugene Gendlin, but it also has some similarities to internal family systems. So we're working in an integrative way that honors all of that. And my intention then coming out of the session was, okay, we're working with something. There's a fear here that wants to be acknowledged. How can we smoothly step out of a session, scaffold, and think about where next? Because so much of the good work happens after the session. The session might create clarity, it might create a sense of flow, but this was clearly an ongoing, important piece of Whitney's personal unfolding. So Whitney, maybe I'll come to you. And as I said, we're going to go a bit over time. We're going to go to about 5 past, maybe a little bit after that. But what we'll do is bring Whitney on to share what was your experience, Whitney, from your perspective. And then we can take 5 minutes, bit less probably, to ask any questions. And then we have a final closing offer that I will leave you all with. So Whitney, forgetting everything I just said there, which was sort of just a little peek behind the curtain. What was that like for you, that session? Where are you at now?
Yeah, I mean, yes, we went over, and it just feels like so much happened in a short amount of time. I'm actually like surprised a little bit at the depth, and like with that surprise, I'm also, I don't know, there's just like a lot of empathy and compassion for myself in this moment. That's the only way I can really describe it. And I think that like deep self-compassion is really surprising. I'm surprised that's where I got to. And it feels really important. And so there's just, I mean, it was however long we were in there, it just feels like a really big recognition for the amount of time that basically we were handed. And so that feels really significant. And I'm to unpack, but I mean, it was just nice to, I think the moving of the desk was really profound, and just that question and what my response to it was, that just felt so simple, and yet so infected. Like I'm still here looking up at this mountain. And so that bit, like that question of how I might resource myself, I think both resourced me and held a lot of significance in the topic itself, which was really cool. And I mean, the embodying and the getting into that posture, and the question of what was surprising me about that. I mean, and letting myself be surprised in the posture that came and how it was feeling to me. Gosh, that was, yeah. I mean, I think surprise, like the word that just is that surprise. Like I do this, and yet I'm so I'm a body oriented coach. I do this, like I witness this, but just today for myself, I mean, it just feels so meta. The simplicity of these little things just really met me in such a deep way. Like moving this desk slightly, standing in my feet, and feeling into that posture and being with that posture, and yeah, there's just really big takeaways for me. And I think I'm surprised at the simplicity, which is both lovely for the session and important in the context of what I was bringing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Whitney.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, just a note that, part of the school's philosophy is when we create a safe relational container, and we make essentially an invitation for the body's own wisdom to direct where to go. That's what we were doing. So making an invitation, the body knows which way it wants to go to resource itself in just the right way, if we can connect with it and allow that to unfold. And similarly, there's a way in which the body already knows, on our deeper knowing, knows how it wants to unfold. So we're sort of providing a space for that. And often the incomplete places in us are what come up. They're the places we need to come into relationship with. Once we accept, hear from, build relationship with those places, there's an alignment and flow that becomes possible. So that's part of the thought process. Yeah. Okay, so we've not got too long, but has anyone got any questions about what you saw there? Or any questions that are front of mind about the approach? Carolyn, I felt you were getting nourishment from Whitney. And so just to say, Carolyn's on the course, so some of these words are from the course. So I could sense you sourcing and beaming. There's a loving presence, Hakomi, intervention. Yeah. Thanks, Carolyn.
I have a question. I don't know if
Please.
it's a language misunderstanding, but I'm not sure if the fear that came up was the fear of not being worthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not, well, in a way, we didn't have enough time to get to the absolute, core of it. In our system, every pattern that we have is essentially held in place by a prediction, something that the pattern does not want to happen. And so we could have spent more time to really get more granular about what was that fear about. But in practice, it's not necessary to know, as long as the client seems to know and they are clear on how to develop the next steps in working with that fear. That's the kind of the step that was possible in the time, if that helps, Elena.
Can I share
Yes.
as asking that? Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
And I know, and that's what feels really important to me. Because I don't know that there are words as well for it. So yeah, I do want to share that it felt like enough as well as not too much. I think there was no expectation of, like, especially as I landed on what it was, I have no expectation of solving this fear that I'm coming up against. It's a lifelong process, but what I do feel is an ability to sit with it in a way that I did not have prior to this very short session. And that's what feels really important.
Okay, wonderful. So yeah, one of the things we talk about in terms of body into coaching is it's a new way of being in relationship with ourselves, with each other, and with the world. So we're cultivating a different kind of presence, different kind of relationship, one in which is very receptive, and that's accepting, really. And we find that from that place, change is more available. So that's very much the way that we work. We're very, very relational, and we're moving at the pace of the client's own system. So obviously, if this feels resonant, then I think we have another introduction to body coaching session happening later today, 9 p.m. UK time. And I'm just going to put the QR code up online. So If you're interested in training with us, and if this is the only session you might be going to, but you're interested as training as a body-oriented coach, please put yes in the chat now, and one of our course consultants will follow up with you afterwards. And you can also book a call directly with Caro, who's here in the chat, who's here in the meeting, via the QR code on the screen now, or Alex, who's our other consultant. And we have some spaces on our November intakes. And if you enroll within 14 days, so it says it here on the screen, but you basically get an offer worth £1,250. That is an additional group coaching course, so how to work somatic coaching in groups, for £750, and 4 one-to-one supervision sessions as well, on top of everything that's in the course, which is already 171 hours of coach education. So I think that's all for now. I want to say thank you. And I really appreciate these comments as well, Emilia, Genevieve, and Angela. Liz, also, it's really lovely to have been in the space, and hopefully you got a sense for what it's like to be in the somatic school container. But in the meantime, wishing everyone here very well, and see you soon. Go well. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam.